Finally, we invite Professor Carolina Díaz, Confucius Institute, St. Thomas University, bring us a wonderful speech. The title is that Teaching the Chinese Language Online, the experience of the Confucius Institute of the St. Thomas University. Please.
Thank you. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hola a todos, 大家好. For me, it's an honor to be here sharing experience and talking about Chinese online teaching in Chile. Because a few years ago, studying languages through online courses was almost unthinkable, especially in a language like Chinese. But the pandemic has accelerated the development of this new mode of learning remotely and has served as a great opportunity to develop multiple innovation in this area. So today I'm going to analyze the work done by Confucius Institute at Santo Tomás University of Chile in the implementation of its online courses, the challenges it has to overcome, the advantages that brought this new format, and the innovation that have generated throughout this period. The Confucius Institute at Santo Tomás University is the first Confucius Institute in South America, which began operating in the city of Viña del Mar in April 2008. And until 2019, the Institute had courses in the 19 Santo Tomás University campuses throughout the country. And since its establishment, more than 15,000 students have learned Chinese in its courses. In the years 2009, 10, 13, and 17, was selected as the best Confucius Institute of the Year by Hanban. In 2015, it was recognized in Shanghai, together with 15 other Confucius Institute worldwide, as a model Confucius Institute, being the only one to hold this title in Latin America. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020, all face-to-face activities in the country were suspended. So, in order to adapt its courses to a new online modality, which has never been worked on until then, Confucius Institute delayed the beginning of its classes schedule for that month and officially began its online classes in April in a gradual order, not all the courses together, to ensure the quality of the courses and to verify that the platform and the team were ready and prepared for this new online modality. Within the adjustments in the online model, the academic curriculum and class hours were adapted from the 40 that were carried out in face-to-face format to 20 asynchronous and 20 synchronous, which were expanded to 26 during the year 2021. The same was done with the courses prices, and as a way to support the economic crisis that existed in the country at that time, a significant discount of 70% of the original price in 2020 and 45% in 2021 was applied. Also, during 2020, 483 students of Santo Tomás University from all over the country were awarded with Chinese courses scholarships at the Institute. Also, the internal structure of the Institute had to be modified to the virtuality, and since certain positions were no longer necessary, such as area and campuses coordinator, and instead, new ones have to be created, such as e-learning and student affairs. It is important to point that in this period, a special emphasis has been placed on having a close relationship with the students, thus creating the position of user experience in order to increase the loyalty and retention rate of students. So there is a person in charge of monitoring which students have difficulties, following their classes and call them one by one to understand their situation and give them alternatives according to their needs. Likewise, was also created the position of tutor, who supports students in the technical and administrative part of each course. So teachers have only to focus on their academic role. A position exclusively in charge of the cultural and complementary activities of the Confucius Institute was also created. So during this period, the variety and quantity of cultural activities have increased exponentially. Thus, the current new structure consists of three main areas: pedagogical, technological, and management area. In addition, during 2020 and 2021 was not possible for Chinese teachers to travel to Chile due to the closure of borders, and that a large part of the Chinese staff had to return to their country. Confucius Institute began a process of recruiting local Chinese teachers, mostly Chileans who had lived in China for several years, or Chinese with residence in Chile. Currently, the staff of teachers is made up of 12 Chilean local teachers, 7 Chinese local teachers, 5 Chinese teachers who teach from China, and 3 professors from other parts of Latin America, specifically Mexico, Ecuador, and Colombia, who teach Chinese from their own countries. This year and a half with this new online modality has served as a great opportunity for the Institute to develop various innovations and generate new ways of teaching Chinese, like the development of a virtual classroom, in which videos with the grammatical explanation, and files with the vocabulary and text of each lesson were uploaded, as well as audios, homeworks, tests, videos with the dialogues, as well as games, such as word search games and memory games with the vocabulary of each unit of the book. Furthermore, the students can also find here online cards with the vocabulary of HSK 1, 2, 3, and 4. Likewise, through the platform, students can enter the online class, and they can find the recordings of each session, so students who cannot attend class can watch it or see it again if they need it. Through the new cultural area of the Institute during the pandemic, various cultural webinars open to the general public began to be developed weekly, framed in the called Digital Culture ICST, which are transmitted via Zoom and Facebook, and are saved on the Institute YouTube account. From March 2020 to date, a total of 158 online activities have been carried out with more than 15,000 attendees. Some of the topics covered were Chinese calligraphy, Chinese protocol, Chinese Buddhism, Chinese medicine, etc. Likewise, there are cycles of webinars in order to delve into various topics. Some of these cycles have been Chinese gastronomy, Chinese literature, modern wushu, and so on. These topics, in general, are taken from the preference of the students, which comes from the surveys carried out at the end of each semester. Moreover, exclusive workshops are held for students of the Confucius Institute in order to complement their Chinese learning. These workshops address various topics, such as study methodologies, learning Chinese applications, Chinese phonetics, etc. Today, 23 of these webinars have been held, with a total of 1,276 attendees. Currently, the courses are taught via Zoom, and the first levels of Basic 1, 2, and 3 are conducted by native Spanish-speaking teachers. On the other hand, from the intermediate courses, these courses are taught by native Chinese teachers who, if their Spanish level is not high, are accompanied by a Spanish-speaking support teacher in class in order to generate students' total understanding of the different topics and grammatical points. Also, in a virtual environment, getting that all the students actively participate in class is a great challenge. For this, Confucius Institute teachers have implemented various strategies in class to energize each session and make the sessions more interactive to motivate the students to participate, thus making sure that the process of acquisition of Chinese language is as efficient as possible in this type of online classes, like various games and activities such as bingo, memorizing, Kahoot, this is Kahoot, or some apps like learning apps, EduCandy, this is some activities, or creating sentences or group dialogues. This is also an example.
强生想买什么？我想买一件红色的衬衫。好的。多少钱？它才15块，太贵了。
Also, students have to send audios and writings to teachers so they can give personalized feedback according to each student's performance, as well as give them some techniques to improve their ability in the Chinese language. The students of the Institute have the possibility of practicing the Chinese language with Anhui University students. On Fridays at 8:30 p.m. Chilean time, and on Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. Chinese time, in session of 1 hour. Last semester, each of these sessions had an average attendance of 47 students who were separated by their level of Chinese. According to the student survey, 48% of them participated in one of these workshops, and those who could not participate explained that was mainly due to their schedule. Likewise, to solve any specific doubts that the students do not understand about their classes, they can request a free 15-minute assistantship at time established by teachers. To facilitate communication between teachers, tutors, and their courses, the Telegram messaging platform began to be used during this period, which in many aspects is much more efficient than other messaging platforms like WhatsApp. Likewise, on this platform, it was implemented the IC Patio, an interactive space where more than 1,200 students, teachers, tutors, alumni, and the Institute team are part of it. This virtual space arose from the fact that in these online classes, having no physical closeness, students do not have a physical institute patio where they can talk about courses, share experience, and generate the so-called collaborative learning. Thus, in this group, students can interact, give recommendations for books, film, documentaries, study techniques, etc. Finally, the same students have created various groups according to their interests, such as My Digital Fair, the Chinese Scholarship Group, the Tantan Conversation Group, among others. also, to create a close image for the students, the character Confucius was created. He interacts with the student through the Telegram help desk and is the protagonist of the explanatory videos that were generated to clarify some grammar points. This is an example of those videos.
En este video veremos los grupos 4, 5 y 6 de los sonidos iniciales del chino mandarín.
El grupo 4 que es...
Well, it's in Spanish, the explanatory videos. Well, about the students. Since the online courses were implemented, the demand was risen exponentially compared to the face-to-face classes, representing an increase of 235% in 2020 compared to 2019. Besides, virtuality made it possible not only for students from Chile to have access to courses, but also for students from other parts of the world. These students are Chileans who are living in those other countries, or foreigners who live in Chile or other countries. According to a survey conducted among the students of the Institute in the first semester of 2021, there is a high degree of satisfaction regarding the online platform and in the degree of sensation of adequate development of the language skills and the satisfaction about their study, despite they recognize that their study and work activities do not allow them the necessary time to adequately carry out all the asynchronous study activities. And sometimes internet connection problems have hindered normal access to the course. The degree of satisfaction of teachers' work is also high. And as we can see on a scale from 1 to 7, the Institute's work in all its edges received an excellent score. And this is also reflected in the fact over the course of the 3 semesters of online classes, more and more students will prefer to continue with this model in the future. Because for students, this e-learning model not only gives them flexibility by being able to attend classes from wherever they are, saving money and time on transportation. Because in cities like Santiago, the distances are huge. So the time in transfer from one to another point of the city could be more than 1 hour. Likewise, in the past, many students could not take the courses because in their cities, there were no Santo Tomas University campuses. Or due to the lack of students for the more advanced levels, these were suspended. For this reason, currently, this modality is very useful for students who not only can opt for all the levels offered by this institute by grouping people from different geographical locations in the same course, but also they can access a greater variety of schedules which are limited in the classroom. Likewise, for students being able to share with classmates from different parts of Chile and the world is also a very enriching point of the classes. Additionally, having a platform with all the study material gives them a structure and a standardization of the educational process. Furthermore, having the possibility of watching the recording classes in case they cannot attend class or they wanted to see it again is one of the points most valued by the students. And this modality has not only brought advantages for students. For Confucius Institute, it has also brought many benefits based on the fact that with this modality, a wider target audience can be accessed. And the cost of an e-learning course is more than 74% cheaper than a face-to-face course, where the cost of an apartment rental, life insurance, food and transfer of the Chinese teacher have to be paid, as well as having a coordinator for each institute campuses and the cost derived from the use of classroom. On the other hand, in virtual classes, there is only the cost of the local teacher's fee, the e-learning platform, the help desk, and the Zoom licenses, and the necessary administrative staff is much lower. This also means that it is possible to generate courses at a lower price. Therefore, and since most of the students indicated that they prefer this model or a mix between the classroom and online class rather than returning to fully face-to-face classes, in the future, it is expected to continue with this online modality that is much more convenient for all parties, and that the classroom courses will be only taught at the main campuses in Viña del Mar and Santiago. To do this, the next challenges are to continue generating new content for the platform, seeing ways to make the teaching of the written and oral part more efficient, generate trainings for teachers so that they better adapt learning methodologies to online teaching, and generate specialized courses for different types of target audience in order to better satisfy the interest, needs, and motivation of our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Carolina. A really attractive speech. And after listening to your speech, I found that I not only do not learn English well, nor did I learn Chinese well. I really admire the teachers who teach language courses. Thank you very much, Professor Carolina from St. Thomas University. And we have any question? We have any question for this speech?
It's not
Please.
a question. I would like to say that Carolina showed us the innovation of these new times, the innovation in teaching and learning, how we had to reinvent ourselves to teach, and how the students now, they feel that this new way is giving them a lot of new opportunities. So I think the work that Carolina and other teachers are doing in teaching a language online, it is fantastic. And not only that, I did only in all our universities the fact that we had to change the way to teach and how the student needed to change the way to learn is very, very important. And the world changed absolutely. So today the U6 forum is online. Maybe in the future we would like to be, it's impossible to be blended, you know, to be some places and online. But I think the future will be blended, absolutely. Thank you, Carolina, and thank you for the help of Anhui University as well in this work.
I think that this is the end of today's phone and presentation. Thank you very much for your participation.